Good morning. 2 days to go and 17 miles since I came to this shelter, which is one shelter farther than I had on my original plan. Did a little 360 there, shelter behind me. So I'll see what happens today on mileage. The next shelter is about 7 miles, and then the hostel's 10 miles from there. But I'll see how it can split up. I'll have to work it out. And but I had an excellent night's sleep. And this location has a privy, and the others I've been at did not. So that's an advantage. Had a good breakfast, dehydrated milk, and mixed in my trail mix. That was a good breakfast. I'm down to where all I have are dehydrated meals, energy bars. I have my energy gel, GU goo, and my trail mix. So it's all good. And only 2 days and my shuttle ride set up. And here's the shelter, 3-sided as the others have been, typical. Take a little look at it. Of course, they've got open ceiling. When I say open, lighted, where panels that light comes through. So all the through hikers, they always take the top row, made for 6, and here's the bottom, made for 6. I always take the bottom because I like to slip out, and I don't like to have to jump down. I'm 68 years old. I mean, you can almost reach it and sit, but I don't like trying to negotiate that. So, little fireplace, had a little fire last night. Here's where you hang your packs. You hang them down strings so the mice don't get into your pack from smells, odors, or they might like the materials to use for their little dens. Chew on packs somehow. As I mentioned, one of the others I filmed. If I got a film of it, one of them it was ripped and it was blowing all night. Sounded like somebody was packing up. You know, had the sound of ruffling all night with the wind. And I did get new black diamond hiking poles. There they are. It'd be easier if I set them down. They're nice, light, 4.5 ounces each. Excellent handles, fit my grip, my hand size. They're made 120 centimeters to my length that I need. And so that's nice. They don't have they're not adjustable, so you don't have slippage where you have something tighten them down because you adjust them at different lengths. But this shelter is a little bit off trail, but not far, 1/10 of a mile. So I'll be heading back. Early in the morning, in the first hour, the trail behind me, the trail ahead. I noticed last night I left my phone on accidentally. I started doing some videoing and thought yesterday, well, I'm capturing some different dimensions of the trail while I saw some variation on the forest, the environment there. So coming into the shelter, I wanted to get the shelter shot coming in, and then I left my phone on. So I'd taken such care to turn it off, had battery life up 70%, really holding strong after I deleted a bunch of apps. So then it's down to 54. When you leave it on, it's doing certain things on I even left the cell signal on. So that's what happened. But I'm catching this because I'm 2 miles from the shelter last night, and there'll be a spring. So I'm gonna catch this trail section today. I'm still not inclined to do a lot of videoing. Want to conserve battery. I have my power pack because I can get another charge on the phone, certainly. And I want to have good information for my water sources and getting to my finish line. Though, as I mentioned, there's a nice little Christmas tree already down. Well, a little thin on the branches, but like they say, Charlie Brown, Charlie Brown Christmas trees. But I'll have a water source. I passed a guy spreadsheet, like Excel spreadsheet, getting water back 1/10 of a mile, but he had to go down. He stepped down over the ledge. Not too bad to collect it as it fell at a little drop off there. That's not the spring. There's a pool of water. There's some water gathering there. I'm using far out telling me the spring is coming up. All right, well, I get my water. I did notice water is scarce. The next shelter about 5 miles away, and then it's 10 miles to the hostel. So those last 10 miles, I did not see much water. There's another shelter, there's water there, and I think that's 8 miles. So there's an 8-mile stretch. It's a good time to carry some water. Right now it's cool. If it heats up and a lot of sweating is going on, more water is needed. More water loss, more needed. All right, well, there's a little water flow. When you see it flowing, you know you can gather it somewhere when it falls, when it has a little drop. Like right there, a little ledge you look for. Trail with a view. Still early in my hike. It's 10:30 a.m. I started at 8:45. We got a view behind my shoulder here. Is that it? A trail with a view? The way the sun comes out changes the how much the view can be captured with the lens. There's a dead tree. Far Out calls this location the helicopter pad. And I suppose it does mean a helicopter could land. You got a rock here and two concrete pointers. Okay, so that's looking southbound. I'm backing up. One helicopter pad. Sun came out here. We got the Smoky on the Smoky Mountains. In 0.9 miles, there's a plane crash. Tragedy, certainly, for someone. I don't know if they'll have any markers or plaques, but I'm going to take some video of that site as just a highlighted site of a tragedy. But again, the sun's out. They're talking about rain, possibly around 2 p.m. I will get to the next shelter. I think it's Cosby Shelter. regardless, I'll be there and I'll evaluate the rain. With my 17 miles to the hostel, 2 days of hiking with the shuttle pickup for me back to NOC. There is a campsite identified on Far Out, so I'm determining what happens with the rain. This next shelter, 5 miles or so, so it'll be a point of assessment. The views keep coming. Being on trail, the views are never ending. And the sun is out. I had just put my phone away from the helicopter pad and I've been turning it off to conserve battery. And then I looked up and I said, well, that's a significant view. They're all epic with the natural eye, the naked eye. The iPhone camera does well, but not as well as what you see when you're standing here in Hikers Disney World. The fun never stops. The visuals. Just came down a little bit of a rock scramble. There is a passageway between the big rock there. Here's some plane crash debris. It's a very small pile to represent a plane crash. Heading down a little rock path here, quite rocky. But as I step back, you'll see that pile is as small as you'd put out on your curb on trash day. Certainly insignificant, and I would call it a token of the tragedy. So a lot of work's been done to remove any plane debris. We are hiking on to Cosby Shelter and then Davenport Shelter, and then the shuttle pickups location Thursday morning, 6 a.m., April 2nd at Standing Bear Farm. Yesterday, 15 miles. I've got 17 miles in 2 days. I've talked about, what is that, a forecast of rain at 2 p.m. or sometime this afternoon. My earlier, well, in Gatlinburg, I looked at weather and it was showing rain tomorrow. So if it's raining today, I'm counting on it being clear tomorrow. And that's good. I expected to hike short on a rain day and get the rest of the miles on a dry day. Put ourselves under pressure, depending on, it's called risk reward, what the risk is if you fail your objective. Like, I need that shuttle. That's a one-shot deal. Anybody else will be $60 more and up, and you can't always schedule them just because you want to leave a location. Okay, we're doing a little, that's another trail. Doing the switchback. We are going to Cosby Knob. Okay, I've been calling it Cosby. Cosby Knob, 3.9 miles. Well, I've taken a little more video this morning. It's now 11:15 a.m. Because my battery's down, I'm gonna have to recharge it anyway. And then I'm gonna have to protect that charge. And I realized too, two of the people We're with a third guy at breakfast this morning, and I should have taken a video of them. I enjoyed talking with them, learning their story. And those are three I should have documented. I am very hesitant about getting the camera on people. I think it makes them uncomfortable because it might make me uncomfortable. And so I didn't want to be forward or inconsiderate or inconvenience them. But now I realize, talking about two of them, I gave my number to so they could notify me on their progress, and I could rejoice, enjoy their achievement. Here's my sign to the last shelter in the Smokies. 5.2 miles, it's 4:30. I'm on top of a mountain, 4:30 p.m. Gonna head down this way. The sun's out, wearing my kettle hoodie. I just got a little hot. I tried to put on a wool shirt underneath and I sweated it up. So it'll be a long day, 15 miles. So another 15 miles. So it looks like I'm gonna hit the last shelter, 70 miles in the Smokies, and I'm going to do it in 6 days. So that's pretty good pace. The last shelter was so crowded, and I wanted to get some space, so I cleared on out at 3 p.m. So this is what I signed up for. I was looking at this flat spot here. I mean, if I was in trouble and needed to call it for the evening, I would do it, though I'd be in violation in the park. I suppose could and would fine. That's probably how it works. All right, well, I'm gonna catch you on at the shelter. I'm gonna have to watch my step. It's going steeply downhill. Rambler in the Smokies. I'm hanging around the shelter today. And it's interesting, last night I didn't have a signal, but I see I'm getting messages now. So that's a twist. Interesting. There's a shelter behind me. I had 3 young guys just out of college age, early 20s, and a guy in his 40s that I've been hiking with a little bit, not hiking on the trail, but seeing in the shelters. Because I'm hiking longer, trying to get that shelter in the background. There it is. Those are nice structures. But having a good morning. It's past 8 o'clock, just past 8 o'clock now. Out here in the Davenport Gap, the last shelter of the Smokies, going out north. We're getting, I call it a sunrise. We get 2 sunrises, the way I think about it. You get one is the real sunrise on your, you look it up on Google, what time is sunrise. But in the mountains, when the sun comes over the ridges, that's when you see the sun. All right, well, I'll show you the shelter. And today, with my big day yesterday, I did it just to make this day a Nero. That's almost 0. 2.5 miles to my hostel. And I'll be waiting on my ride 6 a.m. tomorrow. I'll text the guy, and I don't have any idea he'll be anywhere in the area today, but I'll let him know I'm available. Here at the shelter, and there's others, more of them are like this, a water source and a toilet area. They call it cat holes. And dig the hole, and that's the only way to go. And that's what people have to do, hikers have to do out here in those shelters and those mileage. You have to be a lot more careful. There's no safety rails on the steps, and you can't jump with old knees. I was telling the guy when I was younger, I used to jump off flatbed semi-trucks, the flatbed. I don't know, that's 3.5 feet. I mean, I wouldn't do it all the time, but I'd do it if I wanted to get down in a hurry. I'd just jump. But no, I'm not jumping off of there. Starting my victory lap, 2.5 miles to the hostel, Standing Bear Farm. I'm just now starting out. I'll get a little footage while I'm here. Davenport Shelter, where I just took some shots, video. Up here we got where I came from last night. The white blazes are out there. I will slow walk today. Nowhere to be, get to the hostel, hang out, get some rest, and tomorrow a 6 a.m. shuttle. I left my poles right here. My hiking pole story, breaking a hiking pole. I bought these at REI, paid a $50 fee to get a helpful worker in Gatlinburg to drive me to Pigeon Forge and back. I won't forget them. Right now, they're first on my mind. They're expensive, but they're high quality. Glad to replace my Sierra Madre poles. Sierra Madre seemed like they have been a trendsetter, coming collapsible, lightweight, 4.5 ounces per pole, 5 ounces right there. But now I see Black Diamond has a better pair. You can tell that it's higher end manufacturing and finish and features like the foam grips, the straps. The Sierra Madre, first time out on the 6th day, the pole broke. But on the, maybe the 4th day, the 3rd day, the strap came off. I tried to tighten the strap and it popped out of the handle. And then I couldn't put it back in because the clip piece inside the setting flipped out into the woods. So we'll try to get our money back. If they replace them, I'll have 2 sets, but that'll be a backup for certain day hikes and things when I don't want my good poles. I do that with trail shoes too. I've got 2 old pair. I'm wearing normal right now. And they have been effective though. They run narrow for European. They're a Norwegian company. And I have Lone Peaks. So I'll be buying another pair. And I'll talk about that when I pick them out. I've seen some good, well, there's high end. I like the high end hiking shoes. Lone Peak has, they were like at 9+. But there's another brand I was looking at. I'll talk about it when I'm making a decision. But I'm ready for another pair. This pair, they've been good for 100 miles last year. Section hike, North Georgia, southern part of North Carolina, which caught me up to all hiking miles to here. 105 miles through the Smokies, NOC through the Smokies. But this pair, I'll give you a little shot of it. They, the little toe comes apart. This one's been glued. This one came apart. So the one glued came apart last 100 miles last year. And I saved these shoes for this year. I haven't been wearing them. So now the other one came apart there. But I do find I run downhill. I'm not doing it today because I have all day and nowhere to be. Slow walking. Enjoy the trail. Enjoy the view. But when I'm running the trail to get down Davenport Gap, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., I took a sit-down break and worked on my feet, but I did 6.9 miles in that time, and there was an uphill, the first 2.9 miles. But I catch running fast downhill. Your foot will catch, when you lift and bring it forward, it will catch debris or rocks or a root. And I felt, or even the edge of these little steps. These little steps, they can be tripping hazards. When they have an edge on them, they'll have something kind of coming up like a little edge that'll grab. But when you lift your foot over, that little toe guard will get caught. And I felt it. I feel it dragging. But the one I glued, I got some strong glue on there. It's solid. So this other one, I'll glue it. These shoes, they still have two outstanding features. Though being European and narrow, I bought size 12 the best I could and tried to stretch them out, but blisters on the little toes. The big toes will heal up. The little toes, especially with the downward push, the foot slides forward, and my left little toe is the deal breaker. I mean, it's not acceptable. It needs to get healed, and it's always sore and tender to the touch. But anyway, they have been, this brand Normal has been outstanding. They're not slippery, though they don't have the tread, the rugged, whatever you call that, notches on the bottom that are help grip terrain, outdoor rugged terrain. But they have more of a tread bottom for trail running. But they have been exceptional gripping on rocks. Even if there's little moss on the rocks. I mean, slippery, but they have grabbed everything, and leaves. They have not failed me. Last year, true, this year. And last year, the big decision maker for me was their light. But come out here, the 6-day hiking mountains in Smokies, you know, serious inclines. You're from the NOC on up. I mean, you're getting up to 6,000 feet, obviously, and back down and back up. So, yeah, the 6-day, leaning on it, going uphill, snapped, I fell, but fall wasn't bad. I was stepping up and not going fast, just trying to lift myself up by leaning on the stick. That's true. And a snap. But again, in a little strap pull out, and then I didn't have a strap, so you lose grip on your stick, it falls down, you got to pick it up every time. You got to have the straps. All right, well, that's enough for now. That's plenty of video on my victory tour day, bringing it home. Rambler leaving the Smokies. I'm right here at the foot of the entrance. If somebody was going southbound on the AT through the Smokies. So the Smokies is in the bag. Working the uphill. The promised look at the uphill climb. This will be the last uphill before the finish line. And victory of this 105-mile section hike. When I say the word victory, there's an old song in Jesus that he's our victory, and that's a fact. We want to see this trail. There's always a beauty to the trail. There's always new looks. Though similar, they're always new because they're what you're seeing in the moment. And like some say, live in the moment. There is something good about that. And back to Jesus said, you know, take no thought for your life. Sufficient for the day is the trouble, or if you use the word evil. There's enough trouble that we just walk by faith today in our Father, that he's good. Whoop, bug just flew into my hand holding the camera. And that Jesus is the Good Shepherd, John chapter 10. And the Spirit Jesus sent to be in us and to be our helper, which means our strength and everything that lifts us from, say, an ordinary life. All lives are ordinary until the Spirit of the Father and the Son Jesus comes in. Then it's never ordinary again. On the trail with Mike, hiking on. But the Father, my Father in heaven has provided. In Jesus, it's where the grace comes from, and that Spirit on this trail, because he saved me from a bad fall yesterday coming down to Davenport Gap. There's always roots and rocks, stubbies. I caught one, like I was showing you the top of my foot. I caught the top of my foot, and enough to lose balance, and caught hard enough to cause a hard stumble. But my pack's lighter every day, and by the Lord's saving grace, talking about a situation, not my soul, he saves in situations. I was able, with his help, to run fast, and as my knees bent to go down, I had enough speed I could build up going downhill to get my weight, my legs back under my weight. So I was saved from a hard fall, which would have been a terrible thing. In that long hike, I was doing much jogging downhill, but I take breaks to try to assess, is this good? What I noticed after that point, there was a little roughness there, obviously, to that section. The leaves are covering, and but after that, it got even smoother downhill. So I should have let up earlier. But I was talking about these shoes. These leaves are covering, and these normals are not slippery. They're not slipping on these crushed leaves. They're actually catching grip, and that's amazing. I mean, it's not saying if something's loose, it's loose, like right there. Loose is loose. If it's gonna slide, you have something in between your sole and a surface. But I'm telling you, they gripped all the way through a hard, fast, downhill jog, and that's what got me through in a reasonable time when I was worn and felt pretty empty. But again, the Lord provides. Reminds me another time I was with a hiker, Mega Mile. She was just setting a pace for me on the first day. But she stopped at a blue blaze that went straight on an incline going up. And she said, I was wondering if I should go up to that peak and for the view. And I said, I realized I would have went straight. The trail actually went to the left and didn't go up. It leveled off. So I was going on an incline, but the Father and Jesus and that Spirit, they did me a big win. Because if I'd gone up, every day out here has stretched me. I got through the Smokies in 5 days, and I'm telling you all the glory to God, because I would not have made any of those days in the mileage I made that kept me in a forward position to get this done the way I'm finishing. Really a day early, and to sit around a hostel. Then like last night, I described that effort. That's the longest push. I left a shelter and it was 6.9 miles. That's the longest. Siler's Bald, I finished in the misty rain. That's another Father making a way in Jesus. Going up Siler's Bald, the rain was coming in. I got around the mountain just ahead of the rain. And I talked to through hikers. They were talking about a driving rain hitting them in the shelter behind me. I got around the mountain, and all I had was a misty drip rain. It was dripping a little bit, but it was all misty. It was like being in the cloud. but I've seen that cloud that is the Smoky Mountains. With elevation, you get into the clouds a little bit. I mean, 5,000 feet and up. But yeah, misty. But that was the father got me through there and up Siler's Bald, and I was moving slowly. It was still cold, but the cold didn't come in until all that rain, that little mist and rain had gone through. So that night, everyone's still talking about the food bags on the food hang were frozen. There's little clips, carbiner clips, to pull the food up on cable, frozen. Frost on everything. There was like white chips all over the ground where the frost landed out of the trees. But it was impressive cold. That night was 32 degrees when I was hiking the morning, because my water bottle had chips in it, ice pieces. So I could still drink it, but there was ice sections formed in it. So everything I know, it had to be 32 degrees on that elevation climb from that point on the trail. Well, a little storytelling. We are hiking on to the end. I am outside of the Smokies, about a mile, walking along the river to Interstate 40, which marks the north side of the Smoky Mountains National Park. You'll hear the river. I drank a liter of water out of that river with my Be-Free filter. I find that the best. I met another guy from where I went to high school at, not the exact school, but in Chicago area. He carries a Be-Free. Of course, he said the one thing you notice, it clogs faster than it runs out of useful life. And I've heard vinegar is used, but it doesn't have the same purge or cleaning capabilities of Sawyer. Sawyer, I know you can back flush and clean, but no, Be-Free, I don't know. I have one at home that clogged, and it can be used with, I say WWE wrestler strength. You got to grip it and choke it hard. But yeah, I'm using a Be-Free. I like it. It flows fast and easy to use. It's a great filter, and the downside doesn't detract from all the reasons I carry it, which is ease and fast use, ease of use. I'll always carry the Be-Free unless they come up with something better. This river on my victory lap just keeps rolling. Right beside my walk to Interstate 40, I see the view that's attractive, and I have to take my phone back out. Here it turns and goes down in the ravine. Big boulders, but it's dropping off right there. Almost a waterfall there, certainly. Going way down to the valley. Rolling river. I remember decades ago, I was with another couple, had a couple kids and our 3 kids. We were driving separate cars through the Smokies, and we found a river like this through the Smokies. But I never forgot, we pulled off. They had to pull off, and we were able to sit and put our feet in cold water and sit by a somewhat rushing stream like this one here. Little switchback and crossing this river. A rocky crossing. Nothing too challenging. Crossed it back there 150 feet or less, 100 feet ago. But here we're crossing it where it's coming down the hill. road crossing to Interstate 40. Now here's the river, wide open as it passes under this bridge. Always watching my phone. There's the white trail marker right there. I was a little confused. I came out of the woods on the left side of that road going up the hill. There's steps there. There's steps right there on the left of that. Underpass time. That's the interstate, I-40, obviously. You can read, right? Well, there's the AT, and we got some workers there. They're getting up there on video. I started walking that road. That's why I have far out map expanded. That road goes up and turns. And I tell you, I didn't know this was the AT right here. But here it is. Look for the steps, look for the trail, look for the marker. Now, that's probably the same lost dog. They love that dog. They put that right over the white blaze. Oh, maybe they added the white blaze themselves. But we're going up. They're working on these steps. We're gonna make it up. This is where the hostel is, up here somewhere. And we are on our way. Victory in Jesus and on the trail. Hallelujah. Yeah, they broke me out in a little sweat. Having a bad hair day, which most days on trail. There we go, better. My sticks did not fail me, they didn't fall. Rest them on my belly. I kept my long pants on. I got Cool, K-U-H-L. I can turn them into shorts. And, but I kept them on. I got a wool t-shirt and my Kettle sun shirt. So it's hot when I started climbing, especially you feel it. You look here to the left there, look like they're building some stone steps. Those are gonna be some real nature suitable steps for this environment. Of course, they got a drop off. I don't know, there'll be a rail included. Steep climb to the hostel. Hostel, yeah, I'm sweating heavy. And I'm even an adverb kind of guy. I'm sweating heavily. Adverb. All right, yeah, see, it's on. I'm sweating, starting to build it up. We're getting where we're going though. Closer and closer, one step. We are at Standing Bear Hostel. There's the road. Here's my room for the night. Windows everywhere. Definitely has a cool factor. There's the main house. Maria is the charge person. Other hikers are here in a bunkhouse. The stream, little creek runs on this side and it splits on the other side too. So here's my accommodations. Nice little wood room. Actually very nice for rustic and very worthwhile as long as the bedding's clean, which I'm trusting. Windows on all sides. It's just enough room. There's the door. Just enough room to, got a fan. So we've got electricity. That's awesome. This is home for the night. Shuttle in the morning.